Hey guys, MacGuffin here with another high-level StarCraft 2 game. This is going to be another one from the MLG Winter Arena. Some great replays in there. Of course, you can get the replay pack for yourself. I will leave the description in the comments below, so you can check that out if you want. Anyway, we're going to be seeing a Zerg vs Protoss on Shakuras Plateau, one of my all-time favourite maps probably. And it's going to be between MVP's Dongraegu and QuanticSaSe. Or Sase, or Sase, I'm not sure. They've always got these weird capitalizations and it's really quite hard to tell. And it looks like the Sase probe is heading down to low ground and it looks like he'll be putting down the low ground pylon. Yep, so it's going to be a Forge Fast expand, and of course why won't you do that versus Zerg at the moment? Pretty much the best build with Protoss in PvZ. This is Dongraegu though, so he'll probably get that quick third, but he's also known for doing those early roachling all-ins and the low tier units, maybe some Banes thrown in there. Sort of hit before that 8-minute mark, and that's when the Protoss is weakest, just before their 6 gates start to come online, or whatever tech they're going for. And looks like he's going to be scanning the Dongraegu first, so we'll get a lot of info out. And of course I believe it's the next couple of days, Season 6 on the ladder is locking, so it's now his chance to go for those promotions. You want to just practice really hard during that lock, and you might be a bit surprised on the opening season day. Should be an interesting Season 7 actually. We are going to be seeing a couple of new maps. I think the ones that were voted in were Daybreak and Metropolis, and of course it's going to be really confusing with have Metropolis in the same map pool as Metalopolis, so that might be a bit weird, but I think we are going to be saying goodbye to Shattered Temple, of course the map people voted to get rid of the most, and I can't say I blame them. I'm never a fan of Shattered Temple really, and even Lost Temple before. Never really was a good map for me. I think I had a thumbs down this season. But anyway, Season 7 should be good, should be good. Now it looks like Dongraegu has gone for that sort of 14-15 pull, just because he could have gone hatch first, but it's a bit dangerous versus the Protoss in this situation. You know, they can get that cannons out and then you have to deal with everything, and it can be really awful. If you get a couple of lings out, it's usually very safe. It looks like he's getting 4 lings out at the moment. Unfortunately for Dongraegu, Sase has gone for that Nexus first, and that's a very economic build, and it's going to give him a bit of an economic advantage. You might be saying, well, he's got the spawning pool up, he's getting some lings out, surely you'd be able to run in and do some damage. Well, probably not actually, because you could just throw up 2 gateways here and then you can cancel one of them when the cannon's finished, and it's probably going to leave the probe there just for that. It's very unlikely Dongraegu will actually do any damage, and Dongraegu knows that, and see the probe is going back there. But yes, Dongraegu knows this, so he probably won't devote to too many lings, and in fact it does look like he's going for that quick third, although it's in his he hasn't actually got his natural yet, so he has to clear this out first. It's technically his natural, and this will be his third. But they'll come up about the same time. But we do see a little sneaky pylon coming down, so he's going to try and get some cannon shenanigans, or cannon shenanigans. No. That doesn't really work. Anyway, I imagine he will cancel this gateway and put a summoning core in its place. We'll have to see if his micro is good enough to get those lings in. Probably be alright. The cannon is now coming up, and yep, and he cancels it and puts down a pylon. And okay, oh, there's the summoning core. The pylon is finished here and the first cannon is coming up, and these lings are here just in time, but are they going to get down? He could throw down a couple more cannons and it could become very bad for our Zerg player, but no, it looks like, oh, that's a good move actually. He splits up one ling to go for the probes, so he doesn't go around doing more cannons. Actually, this cannon could go up, no, it's not going to go up. So good, really good defense by Dongraegu actually. Of course you always want to check for those cannons if you're going for the hidden expansion. Probably one of the biggest fast expanding Zergs lose to is cannon rushes. Queen was down here to look for any probes, and it looks like he'll be alright. Transferring some drones, because he's getting a bit saturated in his main. Back at the Protoss base, we do see him getting quite a big economy starting up. Of course, the Protoss players have usually got basically nothing in the game until about 6, 7, 8 minutes. And it looks like he wants to try and sneak past, and it's very tempting to go in here, but it's a trap. You never want to go in there. You could always just use some probes to block it off, and the cannon would take out all the lings. I think Dongraegu's got a bit of an advantage here actually. Let's see. Yeah, the Protoss players lost 324 minerals just from that harassment, and Dongraegu's actually only lost 1 unit, so only 25 minerals lost, so that's a very good lead for Dongraegu. Looks like he is scanning out to see if these gases have been taken, and that's a pretty good move for him. He wants to know if he's getting 4 gas straight away. That could mean a very, very annoying build, something like really quick Archons or DTs or something. Dongraegu gonna spread his creep out. He's a pretty good creep spreader connecting to the third. And of course, the closer the creep is to your base, the better it is. The queens help out, and of course that helps prevent proxy pylons from going up. It looks like Dongraegu's got a couple of lings here, probably a bit too many. He doesn't really want this many. Although this will prevent that zealot from going out, because usually Protoss players will send... Oh, speak of the devil. Protoss players will send that zealot out and try and clear the watchtowers, and that means you don't know if they're getting a really strong zealot force behind this. They could have been chronobursting out zealots all of the time, but that's not the case. So he does have 3 gateways coming up, as well as his robo base, so a bit of an interesting build. Probably going to get a lot of immortals. Possibly a warp prism, and do that warp prism drop here, and you lock off the base, and that's a very good build, but haven't seen that in a while. It became... Zerg players were sort of saying it was pretty unbeatable, but we don't see that many people using it anymore, so I guess really you just need to pull your queens and stop it from going up. Protoss player is now moving out with some sentries and some zealots, and they should be able to clear up all the zerglings, and this is a really big tell for our Protoss player. The zerglings don't have speed, so what's he getting with his gas? Probably going to get roaches, and he probably knows that, so he'll probably get immortals. Although he could be going a spire rush, and that's a bit unlikely because spires usually come up about 8-10 minutes, and Protoss can hit before there with a lot of stalkers, and that just... the Mulas can't fight the stalkers until they've got heaps of Mulas. But good move by Dongraegu. He is taking out that pylon, although another one's going up here. That's a bit of a weird force field. I see, it's to trap the queen, and of course any units coming out here will have to run around it. And if you can take out that pylon, the rush will be effectively over. Of course there'll be no additional warp ins, and it's on the creep, and that's where the Zerg player wants to be. Well, Dongraegu realizes that it doesn't want to have any more reinforcements. Zealots are actually pretty good against roaches until they've got clear reconstitution, which is of course the speed. And see, he's doing quite a bit of damage here actually. And roaches can only outrun zealots when on creep or with speed upgrade. And it looks like Sase is just going to run away. You might as well save these 400 minerals. Why waste them? Do see Dongraegu is now finally taking out that pylon, and he probably could have taken that out with his spine core if he just moved it, but you want to keep that spine core close to the precious drones. A few immortals coming out, it looks like, and we also have a robot support base, so looks like it's going to be a Colossus push, and that's it's a bit of an old style actually. Haven't seen a lot of Colossus build recently. They're still very popular, very good. It's just it seems like gateway upgraded play has been a lot more common than the old style of using the Colossus, and I think this is going to be very good actually because Dongraegu hasn't got his speed yet. It's going to come in before any Colossus are out, but he doesn't have a Spire. Ling Roach versus Gateway Colossus army, it's really no chance really. So yeah, bit of a old style coming back I guess. They do come around, those builds. Dongraegu is getting his 4th, and Dongraegu should know that there is no 3rd for the Protoss, and that means it's going to be a 2-base push. So Dongraegu basically should say in his mind, well, I've got to stop building workers and build just units until the push is over, and he is getting a Spire. So maybe he's realised it could be a Colossus and a few of the models. And of course the models are very good. Of course definitely great against these roaches, although once he's taking a while to get out. And these force fields are going to play a really big role on the battle as well. Moving a spine crawler out, just protect his creep, and also give him a bit of a staging area. Oh, he's hitting roaches in there, coming back around. He could actually loop around, cut off all the units, and actually looks like he might just be running in. The first Colossus is out though, and that Colossus is going to make a big difference. Of course, he does have the thermal lances, so he's going to get a lot of damage. Although, as he can sight the high ground, those 4 roaches are heading in, and this Colossus has only got 5 kills, and that's a big investment. If he doesn't get a few more kills, and all the lings are coming around, the probe, nice probes around on those roaches. Although it looks like the Colossus is going to go down. There's one roach does take out the Colossus, and then one roach is that's definitely the purple heart roach for the game. Had only a few HP left, and he's able to take out that massive tech unit. And of course, if he got away, the shields would have recharged. Dongraegu is pumping out a serious amount of units now. 42 lings coming out, 3 roaches. It's getting tunneling claws, carapace, and burrow. And it looks like Sase has neglected to get any observers, so he could do a lot of burrow shenanigans. And burrow's not yet finished though, so he's going to have to fight this army. But it looks like these immortals are going to really crush quite a lot of the roaches, and the Protoss players actually starting to get into that stride where they start to become really strong. A couple of Colossus coming out, and once those Colossus join the army, it's going to be really difficult for Dongraegu. Although he does have 4 Corruptors coming out, and those are just in time. If the Protoss player had pushed a bit sooner, then it might have been lights out for Dongraegu, but he's going to have a really good chance against this now. It looks like he's continuing to build some Corruptors. Just one Colossus at the moment, although the Colossus count is going to start climbing. And when they get 3 or 4, that's the really dangerous point. And these 2 Immortals are actually so good in this army. Immortals are one of those things that if you add a couple in, they make a really big difference, but too much, yeah, not that much difference. Just one, probably not going to make that much difference either. I meant if you get too many, then they just get killed by Zerglings. But 2 or 3 is a really good number. They do 50 damage each to those roaches. Let's see, probably can't engage this army yet until he can get a better surround. This is not a very good position for Dongraegu to attack in. Although this high ground does allow the Corruptors to come in and shoot at the Colossus, but with no blink on the Stalkers, and just +1 weapons, unfortunately it's going to take some time to kill Corruptors. Corruptors have got a lot of HP. They've usually got 2 armor and 200 HP. Sneaky Changeling coming in here, and if this is going to give him the sight he needs, but it gets taken out. The Zerg player is up about 40 supply, and he is getting to that cap, but this is a really dangerous ball at the moment with those 3 Colossus. I think he's realised that, and that's probably why he hasn't got it. Oh, nice split of those units. With only 3 Corruptors, I know we have 5 Corruptors, it looks like he's going to go in with it. And this is going to be a bit dicey for our Zerg player. He is going in. We have a nice sort of force field blocking up the units. The Corruptors are taking out the Colossus, unfortunately, for the Protoss player. It looks like all the roaches are going to go down, and actually the supplies are really evening up. The supplies are dead even now, although I think Dongraegu's got a lot more remax potential. The Corruptors are forced to run away, and of course those Corruptors are basically useless once the Colossus are dead. But here's the tricky part, he is remaxing with Zerglings and Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks are really going to be aggressive and annoying. They're going to be able to run in and do damage. Of course we do have a few cannons at the 3rd, so good move by Sase. Of course he's going to need that 3rd really because his main's basically mined out, so he's basically on 2 bases. Dongraegu hasn't realised that he isn't going for these top ones yet. Continuing to send units up there. And the Colossus count is continuing to grow. Now the Stalker count doesn't seem to be growing though, and that's what he needs to deal with those Mutalisks. Looks like we have about 15 Stalkers to 12 Mutalisks, so almost even. And if that Mutalisk count gets a bit larger, he could just about take out those Stalkers, and that's where it's going to get really bad for our Protoss player. Mutalisks now flying into the base, and looks like they're going to be able to free reign on these probes, and Dongraegu getting a lot of probe kills here, doing a lot of damage, and this is not very good for our Protoss player. Of course he is still about 30 supply down, and these probe kills are not helping, but he's just going to go for it. And it looks like the Zerglings will catch one of these Colossus, although he could potentially force field. He does just save it, although it's a bit tricky to force field a Zerglings away from a Colossus, since the Colossus will automatically break it. And I think that the Protoss player has decided, well, this is it. He's going all in, and that'll force into a bit of a base trade, although there's really not enough Mutalisks for a base trade at the moment. He needs a bit more, and he's going to have to pump out quite a few Mutalisks to actually win a base trade or take out this army. And there's a lot of Sentry and a lot of Stalkers. Losing a few Mutalisks there and a bad rally point. And he is now in the middle, he's just going around that deadly ball, taking out creep tumors everywhere. And the really big thing for Dongraegu is his Spire is in his natural. If he loses that Spire, the Protoss player could easily win this. It is in full base trade mode at the moment. The Zerg player is going full out on the base, although he's taking out a few of the units and it looks like he's heading back actually. He's got Zealots here, but he didn't take out the Spire, and he needs to take... The Zerg player is continuing to build 7 Mutalisks. If he had taken out the Spire, he had a really good chance of winning this, I think, but I think the game's just going to get further away. You can't really run back versus a Mutalisk lane army. You can just run out, fly out, and he's got Zealots in the... just taking out drones. You've got to go for the Spire. The Zerg player's about 30 supply up, but see, he just runs away and he goes to another place, and that's the real advantage of this army. And the disadvantage for the Protoss, and that's how you exploit it. Of course, there's no blink. Neglected Twilight Tech. He won't really be able to catch these Mutalisks. Looks like all the cannons have taken down, and... oh wait, oh no, he lost the Cybernetics Core. That means no more Stalkers are going to be out of the map, no more Sentries. And it's 15 Stalkers and 11 Sentries versus just about 30 Mutalisks, so it's about even. Yeah, but there's more Mutalisk counters going to start growing, and without that, he just needed that Cybernetics Core. And this is why you sort of can't turn around versus a base trade, and you have to take out those important tech structures, and it was right here. It was right here. Unfortunately, it looks like the Protoss is going to be able to do a lot of damage, and he is even hiding a Nexus here, and that of course is to try and win the base trade, but very unlikely he will. Looks like he's splitting up his units. Sort of a good choice. You've got to know how to deal with these base trades, splitting up the units to try and kill the bases faster, although the Mutalisks can just run in here and pick these off. There's one Stalker and one Sentry here. And there's a few Mutalisks here, and he looks like he's going to do that. Looks like all the Zerg army is now returning. He's taken out enough of the Protoss base that he'll never be able to really cover. So if he can kill the army, he can win easily. Of course, he could just race it. He doesn't know about that hidden one. Nexus over here. But the Zerg is basically double the supply now. He's just going to go in, and this is going to be the end of the Protoss army. This boss is going to take it down so quickly, and that's going to be the end of the game for this Protoss player. And that means that Dongraegu is the winner. So good game to both the players, but better game to Dongraegu. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time.